So let's get ready. We are in for the game, and let's just turn off the chat right off the bat. There are so many spectators this time around, and yeah, as you can see, it's going to be 44. As you have seen, that Ovenka is going to be joining in, and it's going to be Ghost Lake. Yeah, that's nice to see. That's a fun map. That's a very fun map, very radiant and open one. Basically, a bit different Arabia. Arabia, where you basically cannot wall into the middle, more or less. Which is, of course, going to be working for Chinese quite well, because they are the higher skilled opponents in here. And even though we mustn't forget that CZs are basically all of them, Skull, Error, Yannick are 2k plus quite easily. Ovenka is about 1800 plus, 1850 maybe. In team games he's pretty good, especially since he's used to playing with other CZs. It's still quite high level team, but size, yeah, they're 2k plus. Even more pluses above that, so yeah. Even though CZs can definitely put up a pretty strong fight. And there is already a bit of a luring and trying to steal a boar, actually. This is whom? Blue, yeah. This is definitely right now already stealing the boar. So Lex definitely great job, but is that going to be actually finishing? Because there is. China number 2 is going to be helping, as right now Error is going to be desperately trying to basically stop this. Yeah, that was close. That was a close battle right there. No, he's trying to make this work. And China number 2, yeah, well, didn't succeed. It was looking like that Lix wanted to actually steal the boar towards his ally, but it didn't really work out, and in the end, very well played indeed by Error. He was able to secure the boar for himself, and right now, of course, he's going to be having to go for it as soon as possible, because this Eagle Warrior is going to be dying pretty soon. Yeah, that's not much of a chance. And right now, China number 2 just trying to make sure that his boar is not going to be stolen in response. Was a lot of action in here in the early game, as we are also seeing a bit of a scouting in here from Yo. Quite interesting scouting, to be honest, possibly trying to steal something as well. And well, we're looking at Fengchin also being in the base of Skull and trying to locate the boar somewhere. As the first one, as the second one in here. Oh, that's going to be stolen by Yo. And this should be succeeding, because there's absolutely nobody nearby. Yeah, this is going to be pretty much a disaster. And size, well, they are going for it quite soon, and they definitely want to be having advantage as soon as possible. As we are also looking at, actually, right now, a boar stolen, it seems like. I'm right now not sure. I'm not entirely sure if it's his boar, if it's the boar in here. Probably. You can see the Eagle Warrior died in here. There was another attempt, apparently, by China number 2 to steal it. But yeah, right now, Ovenka helped his teammate quite enough, and it's going to be just running after the scout to try and kill it. I was maybe for a moment thinking that maybe Ovenka was trying to steal from the pocket player the same as we have seen Yo right now trying to steal the ball from the top, as it's going to be a very long road. I wouldn't be surprised if he actually wanted to lure it next to Fengchin, who is for the first time in this match not going to be playing in the pocket actually. So yeah, that's at least something a bit different from him. We're gonna be seeing how he's going to be faring on the flank. In the pocket he was brutally strong, but on the flank, yeah, well, we're gonna be seeing for the first time in this match. The civilizations, otherwise, as we are looking if this boar is going to be killing the scout or not through some mistake, are Mongols, Huns, Mayans, and Spanish, which are the same for both teams in here, for both China side and Czech Republic A. And looking at the pocket positions, the pockets are Yo and Lix, so Spanish and Mongols. Not bad. For the opponents, we are looking pockets at Spanish and Mayans. Well, the Mayans in the pocket. Well, usually it's best to be having Huns in the pocket, because once you are having them protected by some capable flanks, they are going to be booming their asses off. And then, of course, in the Imperial Age with the Paladins, they are going to be just a pretty big pain. And even in the early Castle Age, with the Night Raiding, with proper economy behind them, that they are going to be pretty strong. But it's not going to be happening in here, as the Huns from the China are China number 2 at the bottom, and it's going to be facing against the Mayan, or rather, yeah, against the Mayan. So the Mayan are actually not the pocket. Ah, Yannick is the pocket, sorry. I was just looking at the map a bit wrong, as it's kind of funnily spawned. As I'm used to basic Age of Mythology map spawning. In Age of Mythology, you basically spawn a whole lot more in a more divided way. Basically, the players at the bottom 3 in this way would be basically from one team. But yeah, in Age of Empires 2 is a whole lot more random, which is definitely, I think, a lot better, because it makes you play a whole lot more to the map. And that means that actually CZs do have a pocket of the Han. Unfortunately, it's the basically front pocket. He's basically a bit more into the front. It's going to be a whole lot harder for him to defend. You can see he can vault through this mill, through this gold and whatnot, but it's going to be very hard for him. And this pocket is going to be a whole lot safer than Spanish, which is also not that bad in the end. Because of course we know that even though Ovenka is not really any kind of noob, it has to be said he is the lowest scored and rated player in the game. So that's always a bonus if you are going to be having a player like that in the most protected position on the map. Alright, a lot of sheep coming for a red. He's going to be having tons of them. Already finished with the double boar in there. Few lages coming for Skull Function, China number 2 and Error. Right now there are going to be some extra clicks from Yo and Yannick. And so far, oh, Village is coming in yet again, unfortunately. Well, he at least does have Loom, of course. He could have gone into offensive without Loom, but he's slowed down by the nature in here. But luckily for him, it wasn't really given up by some palisade in there. In the meantime, of course, right now, we are looking at Fengxin building a barracks. He's going to be advancing into village pretty soon, going to be dropping an arch range for the archers. And those villagers having a quite long walk, going to be trying to prevent exactly that with the tower. And are they going to be preventing it? I would be kind of like now, like in Skull, to actually go a bit more into the forwardish position and try to basically deny the archer range, because of course it's going to be a pretty huge problem for him pretty soon, those archers coming out for it. Archer range number 2 to basically block the path. Or not. No, he actually hasn't noticed that there's actually something going on. All the palisades coming up, and those towers there, they should be quite fine. Quite fine indeed. But in the meantime, of course, this is going to be given a bit extra time to the watchtower to come up right next to gold. And with the spearman already being placed, it's going to be kind of hard for Skull to do anything significant in there. Just going to be very quickly checking on the left, as I'm seeing many times already from China number 2 trying to deny the gold gathering, or the stone gathering. Well, for Mayan, stone is basically gold, especially if he's gonna go for faster castle and drop in a castle, which just seems like that will be something that actually Error will want to do. But yeah, first he will have to defend with the archers against those many times, as they are going to be quite pesky against all those villies in there. Let's move back to the top though. How's it gonna look for Yannick? Yannick's teammate in there, Skull, who is of course going to be trying to put up another tower in there, but since he already has to face the tower from his opponent, it seems like that he might be basically stopped in his tracks. Archers already up, tower in there in pretty crucial spot. I'm really looking at this already being pretty much a fail, unfortunately for CZs, and this game might be actually pretty short, because once attempt like this fails so miserably as it is right now, failing now, that usually means that the player who attempted it is going to be so far behind, it's just going to be absolutely steamrolled. Absolutely steamrolled. So it seems like that Fengxin is not going to be having any kind of harder game than he was having in the pocket position in the first two. Right now going to be attempting to continue with the wall-in, but yeah, of course the scout is not going to be strong enough, and especially with Yo, who is going to be helping his teammate in there just in time. Many times still very much alive, apparently in China's, or rather in Blue's base. They're just going to be too annoying in here for him, but already skirmishers are going to be pushing forward and trying to basically do something with his opponent. Yeah, those two are just waiting to drop a tower somewhere as well. It's going to be outpost first, so that he sees where potentially to go, but looking how the map is very finally spawned for China number 2, it's looking like that even those skirmishers are going to be having a very hard time coming all the way around, and maybe, just maybe, those two wolfies are going to be killing a few of those as well. Yeah, going to be dropping a tower, and he's actually going to be trying to actually go through the palisade to protect this gold and prevent it from coming into enemy hands, and then he's going to be pushing forward, but yeah, there is already going to be enough forward notice, not only by the houses and whatnot, and the walls in there, but also because of the outposts getting ready. But China number 2, yeah, already going to be dropping the stone walls on his opponent. Error. How's it looking for him? Well, he doesn't see all that much. He doesn't even see the gold. Okay, so I'm not exactly sure why he's actually wanting to push forward in here. I don't really understand it all that much. But yeah, he does. And he's going to be getting through without all that much of a problem, of course. And right now he's going to be discovering that, yep, the map is a whole lot more difficult than he was probably hoping for. Tower on the tree line, though, could be working very well. Because this is going to be well in range. All those are going to be well in range. But since he is having just 2 villages in there, those extras from China number 2 are going to be just fine to deny this. So unfortunately, this is going to be yet another fail on this map. And how's it looking on the other side of the map? Well, a bit of right now raiding. Just by Function's Eagle Warrior, that's about it. Not really anything all that major, as the Knights are already probably going to be coming into Function's base. But it's to be said that Function is nicely protected himself. And it's going to be just one way through. And it's going to be next to the tower and all the way next to exactly the town center. So nicely played by Function. And definitely curious where all the pocket players are going to be arriving. So far it seems like that you will be quite interested in basically sending units into maybe Yannick. Almost looking that way. They are going to be basically meeting halfway in there, apparently. Yeah. They should have basically noticed each other. And Yannick just now knowing that he needs to retreat back home to be a bit more protecting himself. In the meantime, it seems like that Error is actually right now pushing forward through the palisades quite successfully. And even though he didn't finish the tower on the left as you're exactly expecting, that's nice protection right now by China number 2. There is going to be one extra tower forced for him. And, well, he's basically facing the same situation as he did in game number 2, where Error was also attacking him with Britons. This time around, it's going to be a bit different with the Mayans, but still, Archer Civilization and China number 2 is playing the Huns exactly as he did back then. And he is in exactly the same tough situation as he was there. This is basically a deja vu. Deja vu right there. And with Ovenka pitching in with all the knights, that's actually going to be quite a lot more difficult for him. I'm not exactly sure why they are not coming through the TC. Even though he's gonna be getting a few extra shots in there, they could be easily getting in. But yeah, they didn't choose to do so, and of course they are going to be paying for that, because that will mean that all the towers are going to be coming up. That right now purple needs for defense, and the palisades on top of that. So not really any kind of luck with this, even though they still will be controlling the purple player quite well. But they need to be afraid right about now about the Spanish player Alex, who is already establishing himself right outside of the base of Error, with the Conquistadors coming from the castle inside his base. And well, Ovenka, does he have a castle? No, he doesn't. He's just going for the Knights. So those Conquistadors are going to be a whole lot better and going to be having quite nice chance of coming through the palisade and right on top of the gold and the stone from the Mayan player as well. Okay, tons of archers from Function. Ready to do what they want to do, whereas there is just a bit of raiding inside the Red's base, but nothing really all that major, as Camels are apparently going to be getting rid of that pretty soon. And well, otherwise, just Green guarding his home base, not much else going on apparently. Yeah, I don't really see anything else happening on the map all that much. This is just going to be pretty much the most important stuff that is gonna happen in the next minutes. Right now, Ovenka trying to switch off, as he is not really needed in besieging China number 2, trying to basically help his teammates somewhere in some different way, but it's going to be right next to the fire of the castle. And yeah, he's probably not going to be forcing licks of the stone at all, and maybe not even of the wood. Yeah, right now he's coming back, as he's going to be fully needed right next to blue, because blue is already under heavy attack and just going to be waiting for some rams coming out from Lix's base. Are they actually going to be rams or mangonels? I'm not exactly sure. There is a bit of raiding right now coming up from Yannick from the back, and yep, it's going to be rams in there. And rams just there. And of course, the Conquistador is going to be just a whole lot stronger against just normal skirmishes. This is just not going to be working for him. And it means a total annihilation of Error's army. And even though he does have, yet again, very nicely protected tower in there, that's going to be another one at the bottom, trying to deny at least the farms and map control to his opponent. He is getting up in numbers. That was an interesting tower built by Blue. That's a bit of a tower against a tower. And it seems like that actually blue is going to be winning in here, in the little fight. Interestingly enough, because it seems that China number 2 didn't actually deposit the villages inside. Right now going to be repairing it at the very last moment. That was clutch. That was damn clutch. And that will secure the tower to be actually standing for purple as he's getting up in the numbers. And potentially could be already helping his teammate in the assault. Because of course he's pushing forward quite inevitably and inexorably. And of course it's going to be very hard for Error. And he will need all the assistance that he can get from his yellow teammate, who is preparing for that, has to be said. All those knights are getting ready. It's not really all that much raiding going on, just a bit of Yannick right now coming into the Mongol player, who is doing what he can to basically boom up with 3 town centers and already pretty decent economy. And well, in the meantime, Skull is just coming up with knights of his own, as the Mongol, of course. And some knights from Yannick coming to the top. So they are probably going to be trying to breach into Grey, who is also coming forward with crossbowman. Upgate just going to be coming in time. Yeah. Oh, we might be getting some good shots in there. Ah, nice split. Very nice split. But still, he got a very nice shot in there. That was well worth it. That actually put a lot of those crossbowmen in basically half health. That was very important right now from Skull. And it will be basically helping him, because it will force quite probably Fengxin to play a whole lot more carefully. A whole lot more carefully indeed, and give them some extra time to get some extra units up. In the meantime, of course, all the army from purple and orange is right now already in blue's base. So basically, yeah, what we have seen a bit before from Olenka and Error in China number 2's base, this is right now going to be exactly the opposite, but he does have the towers up. Unfortunately, town center has already been lost, and those towers are going to be coming down pretty soon as well, because those knights are just not strong enough against the conquistadors, and there needs to be first some conversion going on and trying to steal a conquistador or 2. Already stolen 1, and if they can steal all those 4 that the numbers are having, that they are having the numbers in there for, they definitely could be turning this battle around. But so far it doesn't look like that Error will be having any kind of easy game for himself. In the meantime, Yo is going to be joining on the top, and yep, right now GG is being called because Error is absolutely out of the game, and it doesn't seem like that Ovenka will be able to help him enough in that, because the situation is just a bit too difficult. Crossbowman coming in, yep, with Yo being in the next one to help. It seems like that CZs won't be really able to do anything all too significant. Nice Mangonels in there to basically try and get rid of all those crossbowmen. The battle on the right would be potentially going quite alright for CZs, but on the left it seems like that the game is already lost in there for them. So they are resigning, and we are going to be heading into game number 4. Well, that was quite nice performance by Chinese, but also by Czech. I really like the early attack by Error yet again against China number 2. China number 2 is definitely going to be having nightmares about Error, because it was basically a very similar scenario as in the first game on the Arabia. And yet again, China number 2 was losing to Error. And until there was some significant help, it was for Fengxin in game number 2 with Eagle Warriors against the Britain, and this time from Lix with the Conquistadors and the full-on attack on Error. Until that game, Error was basically probably winning against China number 2. He was controlling him very well. In a 1v1, you would probably win. But yeah, this is a team game, and 1v1s don't mean a whole lot. They really don't. Economies, not really anything bad for CZs. They were really doing quite well. Actually, a whole lot better than their opponents, it seems like. Ovenka 78, Yannick 77. From the opponents, just Yo at 82. The second pocket Lix at 53. The rest was kinda equalish. So yeah, actually the game was going very well for CZs. Just a shame they weren't able to defend against Lix in there. That was a huge surprise to CZs. They didn't really count with that at all. And Lix did quite probably win the game for Chinese in here. So GG.